You are here because your imagination, that divine and creative force within you, has drawn you to this exact moment. Let us understand a profound truth. In all of existence, there are no accidents. Every moment, every encounter, every single word you're absorbing right now was predetermined by the state of consciousness you have been occupying. Your presence here is a testament to the law that governs all things, the law of consciousness. You see, while millions walk this earth, only a select few will receive this message. Not because it's hidden, not because it's exclusive, but because only those who are ready to awaken to their true power will be drawn to it. This is the law working with mathematical precision. Consider for a moment, out of all the possible moments in time, out of all the possible messages you could be receiving, you are here now reading these words. This is not coincidence. This is consciousness expressing itself through the perfect pattern of divine timing. Now, let me share with you what I know to be true through my own experience. The very fact that you are here means you have reached a point in your spiritual evolution where you are ready to understand the deeper mysteries of existence. You are ready to grasp that which only a few will ever comprehend. Your outer world, every detail of it, is nothing more than your consciousness pushed out. The fact that you are receiving this message now is evidence that within you there exists a state of readiness, a state of spiritual receptivity that has manifested this very moment. Many will say this is too simple to be true. They will look for complexity, for difficult paths and arduous journeys. But I tell you this, the greatest truths are always the simplest. The truth that your consciousness is the only reality is so simple that most will miss it entirely. Now, let me share with you why this message finds only those who are ready to receive it. You see, in this vast world, endless chatter and noise, only those who have reached a certain frequency of consciousness will be able to hear these words and understand their profound meaning. Consciousness, being the only reality, operates with perfect precision. Just as a radio must be tuned to the exact frequency to receive a particular broadcast, your consciousness had to be tuned to this exact spiritual frequency to receive this message. This is not theory, this is law. Consider for a moment, there are billions of thoughts being thought at this very instant, countless words being spoken and written. Yet you are here, your attention fixed on these specific words. This is not random. This is the law of consciousness operating with divine accuracy. I tell you with absolute certainty, your presence here is a sign that you have been prepared. Through all your past experiences, through every moment of doubt and questioning, to receive this truth. You have been led here by the God within you, that infinite creative power that is your true self. Now let us understand something fundamental about this moment. While others are seeking external solutions, running from teacher to teacher, from book to book, you have been drawn to this message because somewhere within you, there is a knowing that what you seek is not outside of you, but within. Your consciousness, that infinite creative power, has brought you to this moment because you are ready to step into a new dimension of understanding. While others sleep in the dream of externalization, you are being awakened to the truth that all power lies within your own wonderful human imagination. Many will read these words and dismiss them, returning to their sleep of mortality. But you who have been chosen by your own higher self to receive this message, will recognize the ring of truth in these words. You will feel the stirring of remembrance in your soul. The very fact that these words resonate with something deep within you is proof that you are among the few who are ready to awaken from the dream of limitation. While others continue to worship at the altar of external power, you are being called to recognize the God within. Now let us delve deeper into why this particular moment holds such significance. You see, in the infinite sea of possibilities, your consciousness has drawn you to these words because you are ready to understand the magnitude of what I am about to share. This message is not meant for the masses, not because they are excluded, but because they are not yet ready to comprehend the profound simplicity of what I am sharing. They are still asleep in the dream of external causation, still believing that their reality is something happening to them rather than from them. Consider this, out of all the moments in time, Out of all the possible messages you could be receiving, your consciousness has orchestrated this precise encounter. This is not chance. This is divine law expressing itself through the perfect pattern of your awakening consciousness. I tell you with absolute certainty, the very fact that you find yourself drawn to these words is evidence of your spiritual readiness. While others chase shadows in the external world, you have been prepared to receive the truth that all creation begins within. Now let me share something that few will understand, but you will recognize as truth. Your presence here, reading these words, is not separate from your desire to understand the deeper mysteries of existence. Your desire and its fulfillment are one, happening in the eternal now. Most people will continue to believe that their desires are separate from their fulfillment, that there must be a gap in time between wanting and receiving. But you who have been drawn to this message, are ready to understand that desire and fulfillment are one, separated only by our consciousness of lack. You see, while others spend their lives waiting for something to happen to them, you are being awakened to the truth that everything happens from you. Your consciousness is the only reality, and everything you experience is simply your consciousness pushed out into the world of shadows we call physical reality. The fact that you continue to resonate with these words is proof that you are among the chosen few who are ready to step into their divine inheritance, not chosen by any external force, but chosen by your own expanded consciousness, your own readiness to receive this truth. Now let me reveal to you why this message finds only those who are prepared to receive it. In all of creation, there exists a perfect law that brings the seeker to the truth precisely when they are ready to embrace it. Not a moment before, not a moment after. You see, while millions chase after material success and external validation, you have been drawn to these words because something within you, that divine spark of awareness, recognizes a deeper truth. Your consciousness has expanded to the point where you can receive what I am about to share. Consider this profound truth. In this very moment, countless individuals are seeking answers. Yet only a precious few will encounter this message. This is not because the truth is hidden, but because consciousness must be prepared to receive it. Just as a seed must be ready before it can sprout, consciousness must be ripened before it can embrace higher truth. I tell you with absolute certainty, your presence here is no accident. In the infinite wisdom of divine law, you have been brought to this exact moment because you are ready to step into a new dimension of understanding. While others remain caught in the web of external causes, you are being awakened to the truth that all causes lie within. Now let us understand something that few will ever grasp, but that you will recognize as truth. The very fact that you are receiving this message is evidence that within you exists a state of consciousness that is ready to transcend the limitations of conventional thinking. You are ready to step into the awareness that your imagination is God in action within you. Most will continue to seek their good in the world of effects, never realizing that all effects spring from the one cause, consciousness. But you who have been drawn to these words, are ready to understand that consciousness is the only reality, and all else is merely its shadow. You see, while the masses continue to pray to a God outside themselves, you are being awakened to the truth that the kingdom of heaven is within you. Your consciousness is that kingdom, and your imagination is the God power operating within it. Now let me share with you something that very few will ever understand, yet you will recognize its truth in the depths of your being. The fact that you continue reading these words is testament to a spiritual readiness that has been cultivated through countless states of consciousness. You see, while the masses remain hypnotized by the shadow world of effects, believing that what they see is what creates their reality, you have been prepared to receive the reverse of this truth. Everything you see, everything you experience is preceded by a state of consciousness that you have occupied. Consider this. At this very moment, billions of people are engaging with countless different messages, yet you are here, your attention fixed on these words. This is not chance, not coincidence, but the perfect operation of divine law. Your consciousness has drawn you to exactly what it needs for its next level of unfoldment. I tell you with complete conviction, the very fact that these words resonate within you is proof that you have reached a level of spiritual maturity that few attain in a single lifetime. While others chase after effects, you are being guided to understand the one and only cause, consciousness itself. Now, let us delve deeper into why this message finds so few ready recipients. You see, human mind is conditioned to seek complexity. To believe that spiritual truth be difficult to attain must require years of study and practice. But I tell you this, the deepest truths are so simple that most will miss them entirely. Most will continue to believe that their good must come from something or someone external to themselves. They will continue to worship at the altar of circumstances, never realizing that circumstances are merely the shadow cast by their own state of consciousness. But you who have been drawn to this message, are ready to step into a new understanding. You see, while others spend their lives trying to change effects, you are being awakened to the truth that only cause can be changed, and that cause is your own wonderful human imagination. Your consciousness is the only reality, and all phenomena are simply consciousness expressed. Now, let me reveal to you something so profound, yet so simple, that most minds will reject it outright. The very moment you are experiencing now, reading these words, was created by a state of consciousness you occupied before you even knew of this message's existence. You see, while the world speaks of coincidence and chance, you are being awakened to understand that every moment is orchestrated by the law of consciousness with mathematical precision. There are no accidents in a universe governed by law, and your presence here is evidence of this truth. Consider this eternal principle: consciousness is the only reality, and everything else is an effect of consciousness. The fact that so few will receive this message is not because it is hidden, but because consciousness must first be prepared to receive it. Like a radio must be tuned to the right frequency, consciousness must be tuned to the frequency of truth. I tell you with absolute authority, your ability to understand and accept what I am sharing comes not from intellectual capacity, but from spiritual readiness. While millions remain caught in the hypnosis of materialism, you have been prepared through countless experiences to receive this revelation. Now let us understand why this message appears to so few. In the infinite wisdom of divine law, truth reveals itself only to those who have developed the consciousness to receive it. This is not exclusivity. This is the perfect operation of spiritual law. Most will continue to believe that life is happening to them, that they are victims of circumstances, never realizing that circumstances are merely consciousness objectified. But you who resonate with these words, are ready to step into the awareness that you are the operant power in your world. You see, while others pray to a God they believe exists somewhere outside themselves, you are being to the truth that God is your own wonderful human imagination. This is why so few will receive this message, because they are not yet ready to accept their own divinity. The very fact that you continue to read these words, that they strike a chord of recognition within you, is evidence that you have evolved beyond the mass consciousness of victimhood. You are ready to assume your rightful place as a conscious creator of your reality. Now, let me share with you a truth so fundamental yet so revolutionary that it will completely transform your understanding of reality. The very act of your consciousness engaging with these words is creating ripples in the fabric of your existence that will manifest in ways you cannot yet imagine. You see, while the vast majority of humanity believes that their future is determined by their past, you are being awakened to the glorious truth that your future is determined by your present state of consciousness. This is why so few will receive this message, because they are still bound by the chains of past-based thinking. Consider the profound implications of what I am telling you. In this very moment, as you absorb these words, you are literally selecting from infinite possibilities the exact experiences that will manifest in your world. Your consciousness is not just receiving information, it is creating reality. I tell you with unwavering certainty, the fact that you are drawn to this deeper understanding is evidence that you have outgrown the limited consciousness of the masses. While others remain trapped in the belief of external causation, you are ready to assume your role as the cause of all causes in your world. Now let us delve deeper into why this message reaches so few. The natural man, living in the world of effects, cannot comprehend that everything in their experience is simply consciousness externalized. They seek causes in the outer world, never realizing that the outer world is simply consciousness made visible. Most will continue to believe that their consciousness is an effect of their circumstances, never grasping the eternal truth that their circumstances are an effect of their consciousness. But you who have been drawn to these words by the law of divine selection, are ready to reverse this understanding. You see, while the masses chase after effects, trying to change their world by manipulating external conditions, you are being awakened to the truth that only consciousness can be changed. And when consciousness changes, all else must change with it. This is the law. The very fact that these words continue to resonate within you is proof that you have evolved beyond the mass hypnosis of materialism. You are ready to step into the awareness that your consciousness is the one and only reality. Now, let me reveal to you why this moment carries such profound significance in your spiritual evolution. While millions sleepwalk through their existence, accepting the illusion of external causation, you have been drawn to this message by the law of divine timing that governs all manifestation. You see, consciousness operates with perfect precision, bringing to each soul exactly what it needs at the precise moment it is ready to receive it. The very fact that you are engaging with these words now is evidence that your consciousness has expanded to the point where it can grasp these deeper truths. Consider what this means. Out of all the infinite possibilities that exist in any given moment, your consciousness has drawn you to this exact message. This is not chance, not coincidence, but the perfect operation of spiritual law. While others remain caught in the web of random events, you are awakening to the truth that nothing is random. I tell you with absolute conviction, your presence here, your ability to comprehend and resonate with these words is proof that you have reached a level of spiritual maturity that few attain. While the masses continue to seek their good in the world of effects, you are ready to operate from the world of cause. Now let us understand something that the rational mind might reject, but your soul will recognize as truth. The very consciousness that drew you to this message is the same consciousness that creates and sustains the entire universe. There is no separation, no division, all is one consciousness diversely expressed. Most will continue to believe that they must wait for something external to change their lives, never realizing that the waiting itself is the very state that perpetuates their current conditions. But you who have been drawn to these words by divine law, are ready to step into the awareness that waiting is unnecessary because everything exists now in consciousness. You see, while others spend their lives trying to make things happen, you are being awakened to the truth that nothing needs to happen. Everything already is in consciousness, and your task is simply to occupy the state of consciousness that corresponds to your desire. You see, while the masses remain focused on the world of shadows, what they can see, touch, and measure, you are being awakened to the truth that all tangible reality is merely consciousness crystallized into form. This is why so few will receive this message, because they are not yet ready to accept that consciousness precedes all manifestation. Consider this eternal truth in this very moment. As these words penetrate your consciousness, you are literally rearranging the entire universe. Not the universe of effects that appears so solid and real, but the true universe of consciousness from which all effects spring forth. I tell you with complete authority, your presence here, your continued resonance with these words, is not a matter of choice as the world understands choice. It is the perfect unfoldment of a state of consciousness you entered when you were ready to receive higher truth. Now let us delve deeper into why this message finds so few ready recipients. The natural mind, conditioned by centuries of materialistic thinking, cannot grasp that everything in the visible world is simply consciousness pushed out. They seek causes in effects, never realizing that all effects proceed from the one cause, consciousness itself. Most will continue to believe that their thoughts and feelings are a reaction to their world, never grasping the eternal truth that their world is a reaction to their thoughts and feelings. But you who have been drawn to this message by divine law, are ready to assume your place as the conscious operator of this law. You see, while others remain trapped in the belief that time is a linear progression from past to future, you are being awakened to the truth that all time exists simultaneously in consciousness. The past you remember and the future you anticipate are both present now in your consciousness. Now, as we draw this divine revelation to its completion, understand this final truth, that even this ending is but a new beginning in consciousness. The very fact that you have remained attentive through these revelations is testament to your spiritual readiness. You see, while others may have found these words too abstract, too removed from what they consider practical reality, you have recognized the ultimate practicality of operating from the one and only cause, consciousness itself. This understanding sets you apart from the masses who continue to live in effect. Remember this, the message you have received today will continue to unfold within your consciousness, revealing deeper and deeper layers of truth as you are ready to receive them. For truth, like consciousness itself, is infinite in its expression. I tell you this with finality, you were not drawn to this message to simply hear words, but to experience an awakening of the God power within you. From this moment forward, you will never again see the world through the eyes of the natural man, for you have been initiated into the mysteries of consciousness. Know this, as you read this message, you are not the same being who began reading it. Your consciousness has been altered, expanded, lifted to a new level of understanding. While others may forget what they read moments after reading it, these truths will continue to work in your consciousness, transforming your entire world. For you are among the few who have been prepared to receive this wisdom, to understand that your consciousness is the only reality, and that all else is simply consciousness made visible. This is not the end of your journey, but rather the true beginning of your conscious creation. Go forth now, knowing that you have been chosen by your own expanded consciousness to receive these truths. Let them work in you, through you, as you are not separate from these principles. You are these principles in operation. And remember, this message found you because you were ready to receive it. Your consciousness drew it to you with the same precision that governs the movement of planets and the blooming of flowers. You are that power, that law, that consciousness made manifest. For those who have ears to hear, let them hear. For those who have eyes to see, let them see. And for you who have been prepared to receive this truth, let this understanding transform every aspect of your being. For consciousness is all there is, and you are that consciousness individualized. And now, in the eternal now where all creation takes place, we conclude this message, knowing that in consciousness there is no conclusion, only eternal unfoldment of that which already is. Let me tell you a great truth that most of the world has yet to comprehend. You are not what you appear to be. You are not this limited mortal being trapped in circumstances. You are all imagination, and imagination is God. Therefore, you are God in the most literal sense, temporarily occupying a garment of flesh to experience your own wonderful creation. And just as God can speak worlds into existence, you too possess this same creative power to speak your world into being. Now, I know this may seem fantastic to some of you, but I am not here to theorize or philosophize. I am here to share with you what I know to be true through my own experience and the experiences of countless others who have applied this law. The transformation you seek in 2025 is not something that will happen to you. It is something that must happen within you first. Consider this: when you go to your home tonight and prepare for sleep, you will naturally disappear from this world of Caesar. Your physical body will rest, but your consciousness, your true self, remains ever active, ever aware. This simple act of daily disappearance holds the key to your transformation. For in that state between waking and sleeping lies the most fertile soil for planting the seeds of your desires. Let me tell you exactly what I mean. When you desire to transform any aspect of your life, you must first learn to disappear from your current state of consciousness. Just as you naturally disappear from this world when you sleep, you must learn to disappear from your present concept of self. This is not a metaphor. I am speaking of an actual psychological technique that, when mastered, will transform your entire life with mathematical precision. Now let us delve deeper into this principle. The Bible, which is not a historical document but a psychological drama, tells us, "Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind." This transformation is not something that happens gradually through external effort. It happens instantly when you succeed in disappearing from your current state of consciousness and occupying the state of your wish fulfilled. Think of it this way. Right now you hold a certain concept for yourself. You may see yourself as lacking in some way, perhaps financially limited or unfulfilled in your relationships, or restricted in your career. This self-concept feels solid and real because you have given it life through your attention and belief. But I tell you, it is nothing more than a garment you have worn so long you have forgotten it. It's not your true self. The secret to transformation in 2025 lies not in adding something new to your current state, but in completely disappearing from it. You must die to your present concept of self. And this death is not a physical death, but a psychological one. It is the complete abandonment of all that you now consider yourself to be. Let me share with you a simple but powerful technique. Tonight, when you lay your head upon your pillow, instead of reviewing the day's events or worrying about tomorrow, consciously choose to disappear from your present circumstances. Feel yourself sink deeper and deeper into the awareness of being who you wish to be. Do not think of how you will become this person. That is the old way of thinking that keeps you bound to your current state. Instead, yield completely to the feeling of being your desired self. If you wish to be wealthy, feel the naturalness of wealth. If you seek perfect health, feel the lightness and vitality of a perfectly healthy body. If you desire a loving relationship, feel the warmth and security of being deeply loved. The secret is to persist in this feeling until it becomes more real to you than your physical surroundings. You see, in 2025, you are not trying to change things in the world of Caesar. You are claiming your rightful place as the operant power of your universe. The outer world, no matter how solid it appears, is nothing more than a shadow, a reflection of your inner assumptions. Change the assumption, and you change the reflection. This is the law. I am reminded of a lady who came to me in dire circumstances. She was facing financial ruin, her relationships were in shambles, and her health was failing. She asked me what she should do to change her life. I told her exactly what I'm telling you now. Disappear completely from that state. She looked at me bewildered, expecting some complex system of affirmations or external actions. But I told her, your outer world is nothing more than your inner conversations objectify. Change your inner conversation, and you change everything. She began to practice this principle. Each night before sleep, she would disappear completely from her troubled state and assume the feeling of being the person she wished to be. She would feel the satisfaction of financial abundance, the joy of harmonious relationships, the vitality of perfect health. Within 3 months, her entire world transformed. Money came to her through unexpected channels. Her relationships healed in ways she could never have planned, and her health restored itself naturally. This was not coincidence or luck. It was the perfect working of law. Now, some of you might be thinking, but Neville, my circumstances are different. You don't understand my particular situation? I tell you, circumstances do not matter. Your current situation, no matter how desperate or seemingly permanent, is nothing more than a shadow cast by your previous assumptions. Change the assumption, and the shadow must change. In 2025, you must learn to distinguish between what Blake called the reality and its shadow. Your true reality is not what your senses show you. It is what your imagination claims it to be. The world of Caesar, with all its limitations and problems, is merely a shadow. You are the light casting that shadow, and you can change it at will by changing your conception of self. Let me give you a specific technique for this transformation. I call it the art of assumption. When you wish to transform any aspect of your life, you must first ask yourself, how would I feel if I were already the person I wish to be? Then, in that quiet moment before sleep, you must generate that feeling with all the intensity you can muster. Do not worry about the how. The how is not your concern. Your only task is to remain faithful to the feeling of your wish fulfilled. The infinite intelligence within you, call it God, call it your subconscious mind, call it what you will, knows exactly how to bring about the conditions necessary for the fulfillment of your desire. Remember, in 2025, you are not trying to make things happen. You are allowing them to happen by assuming the right state of consciousness. This is why I tell you to disappear from your present state. As long as you remain mentally tied to your current circumstances, trying to improve them or fight against them, you perpetuate them. Consider the story of the prodigal son. This parable is not about a wayward youth who physically returned home. It is about consciousness returning to its rightful state. The far country where he wasted his substance is the state of consciousness where you currently find yourself if you are not experiencing your desires. The Father's house where there is abundance and joy is the state of consciousness you wish to occupy. The journey home is not a physical journey, but a psychological one. It is the journey of disappearing from one state of consciousness and appearing in another. And just as the father in the parable did not ask where the son had been or what he had done, your own wonderful human imagination does not care about your past or your present circumstances. It only responds to what you are conscious of being now. In 2025, you must learn to be ruthless with yourself in this regard. When you catch yourself thinking from your old state of consciousness, thinking thoughts of limitation or lack, you must immediately disappear from that state. Do not fight these thoughts. Fighting them gives them power. Simply withdraw your attention from them and place it fully on the feeling of your wish fulfilled. This is what the scripture means when it says, leave the dead to bury their dead. Your old states of consciousness, your old problems and limitations are the dead. Let them bury themselves. Your task is to occupy the new state, to live from the assumption that what you desire is already yours. Now let me share with you another vital aspect of this transformation. Your outer world is nothing more than your inner conversations objectified. What are you saying to yourself throughout the day? What mental conversations do you carry on with others? These conversations, these inner debates and discussions, are creating your future experiences. In 2025, you must become aware of these inner conversations and deliberately change them to align with your desires. If you wish to be wealthy, what kinds of conversations would you have if you were already wealthy? If you seek perfect health, what would your inner dialogue be if you were already in perfect health? Begin now to have these conversations internally. This is not pretense or self-deception. This is the actual creative process by which your world is formed. Your inner conversations are the breeding ground of your future experiences. Change the conversation and you change the experience. This is law. Remember, the Bible tells us, in the beginning was the Word. This is not referring to spoken words, but to your inner speech, your self-talk, your mental conversations. These are the words that create your world. In 2025, become conscious of these conversations and deliberately choose ones that imply the fulfillment of your desires. Let me tell you of a gentleman who came to me seeking to transform his career. He was stuck in a position he hated, feeling trapped and unable to advance. I told him to change his inner conversations about his work. Instead of mentally complaining about his current position, he began to have inner conversations implying he was already in his desired position. He would mentally hear congratulations from colleagues, discuss his new responsibilities with imaginary co-workers, feel the satisfaction of doing work he loved. Within weeks, an opportunity appeared that perfectly matched his desires. This was not coincidence, it was the law in operation. Now, some of you might be wondering about timing. You might be thinking, how long will this take? When will I see results? I tell you, time is purely psychological. What seems to take months or years in Caesar's world can happen in an instant when you succeed in reaching the right state of consciousness. In 2025, you must learn to live in the end. The end is the feeling of your wish fulfilled. When you truly capture this feeling and maintain it, time dissolves. The events and circumstances necessary for the manifestation of your desire will unfold naturally and effortlessly. This is why I tell you to disappear from your present state. As long as you are conscious of time, as long as you are waiting for something to happen, you are not living in the end. You are still caught in the consciousness of absence, of wanting, of seeking. This consciousness can only create more wanting, more seeking. Instead, assume the consciousness of already being what you wish to be. Feel it so intensely that it crowds out all other thoughts and feelings. This is what it means to pray without ceasing, to maintain the feeling of your wish fulfilled regardless of appearances. Remember the words of Scripture before they call, I will answer. This means that the fulfillment of your desire already exists. It is not something to be created. It is something to be claimed through your assumption of the right state of consciousness. In 2025, you must learn to trust this process completely. Do not be like doubting Thomas, needing to see before you believe. Be like the Master who said, blessed are those who have not seen and yet believed. Your imagination, fed by your assumption and sustained by your inner conversations, is creating your future now. Let me give you another technique for this transformation. I call it revision. Each night before you sleep, review the events of your day. But do not review them as they occurred. Revise them to match your desired state of being. See them happening in a way that implies the fulfillment of your desires. This is not merely positive thinking or wishful daydreaming. This is actively engaging your creative power to reshape your world. When you revise an event, you are actually changing the seed from which future events will grow. This is why the Scripture says the former things shall not be remembered or come into mind. In 2025, make revision a daily practice. If you had an unpleasant encounter, revise it to be harmonious. If you faced a financial setback, revise it to show abundance. If you experienced any lack or limitation, revise it to demonstrate fulfillment and expansion. Do this faithfully, and you will be amazed at how your world begins to transform. Remember, you are not trying to change things, you are changing yourself. When you change your concept of self, when you succeed in occupying a new state of consciousness, the outer world must change to reflect this inner transformation. This is law. Let me tell you of another success story. A woman came to me in deep depression. She had lost her job, her savings were depleted, and she felt completely worthless. I taught her this principle of revision. Each night she would revise her day to show herself as successful, prosperous, and deeply fulfilled. At first it seemed mechanical, even foolish to her, but she persisted. Within weeks, her entire world began to shift. Opportunities appeared that she could never have planned. People from her past contacted her with profitable ventures. Her bank account began to grow. Most importantly, her feeling of worthlessness disappeared completely. This transformation didn't happen because she changed things in the outer world. It happened because she successfully disappeared from her old state of consciousness and occupied a new one. The outer changes were simply the shadow adjusting to match the new light. In 2025, you must become aware of another crucial principle. Everyone in your world is yourself pushed out. Every person you encounter is simply playing the part that your consciousness has assigned them. Change your consciousness, and they must change their behavior toward you. This is why it's futile to try to change others or to blame them for your circumstances. They are simply reflecting back to you your own state of consciousness. When you successfully disappear from a state of consciousness that attracts negative experiences, the people in your world must either change their behavior or disappear from your life. Remember, consciousness is the only reality. Everything else, people, circumstances, events, are simply shadows cast by your consciousness. Change the consciousness and the shadows must change. This is not theory, this is law. Let me share with you one final technique for your transformation in 2025. I call it the congratulatory scene. Select a scene that would imply the fulfillment of your desire. Make it a scene where someone is congratulating you on having achieved your goal. Feel the handshake, hear the words of congratulation, experience the joy of achievement. Make this scene so vivid, so real, that when you open your eyes, you will feel as though it actually happened. Do this night after night until the feeling of achievement becomes your dominant feeling. This is not visualization or positive thinking. This is entering into a state of consciousness where your desire is already fulfilled. When you succeed in making this state feel natural to you, when you can live and move and have your being in it, your outer world must reshape itself to match this inner conviction. In 2025, you must learn to trust this process completely. Do not be concerned with the how. Do not try to make things happen. Simply occupy the right state of consciousness and let the infinite intelligence within you bring about the manifestation in its own perfect way. Remember, the outside world is dead, subsisting only on the life you give it through your attention and belief. Withdraw your attention from unwanted conditions. Give your full attention and allegiance to your desired state. Live from that state, think from that state, speak from that state. Your transformation in 2025 is not something that will happen to you. It is something that must happen within you. When you successfully disappear from your current state of consciousness and fully occupy the state of your wish fulfilled, the outer world has no choice but to transform itself accordingly. This is the law, and the law does not fail. It operates with mathematical precision. Your task is simply to apply it faithfully, persistently, until your desired state becomes your natural state. Then you will understand the truth of the statement, all things are possible to him who believes. Tonight, as you prepare for sleep, remember this, you are all imagination. The world you experience is simply your imagination pushed out. In 2025, claim your rightful place as the operant power in your universe. Disappear completely from states of lack and limitation. Occupy fully the state of your wish fulfilled. Do this faithfully, persist in it. And I promise you, your world must transform to match your new conception of self. This is not magic, not positive thinking, not wishful dreaming. This is the law of consciousness in operation, and it never fails. Let this be your practice in 2025. Die daily to your old self, to your old concepts and limitations. Be born anew each day in the consciousness of your wish fulfilled. Live from that consciousness. Think from it. Speak from it. Do this, and you will experience the truth of the statement, all things work together for good to them that love God. And remember, God is your own wonderful human imagination. The transformation you seek is already complete in the imagination of God, your imagination. Your task is simply to enter into that completion, to occupy it fully, to live from it faithfully. Do this, and watch your world transform in ways you could never have planned or anticipated. For in 2025, you are not seeking to add something new to your life. You are claiming what is already yours by divine. Imagination is not fantasy as the world would have you believe. Imagination is the very substance of reality, the creative power of the universe itself. It is God in action, for we are told that man is made in the image of God. The Hebrew word for image is telem, which carries with it the connotation of shadow or reflection. You are not merely a creation of God. You are the creative power of God individualized. Now let me share a story with you. A few years ago, a man came to one of my lectures in New York. He was financially destitute, had lost his business, his home was in foreclosure, and his family was on the verge of breaking apart under the strain. He asked me after the lecture, how can I possibly shift my energy when everything around me contradicts what I desire? How can I believe in abundance when my reality shows only lack? I told him what I will tell you now. The outer world is merely the effect. Consciousness is the cause. If you wait for the outer world to change before you change your consciousness, you will wait forever. For the world can only reflect what you are projecting. So I told this man, dare to assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Live from the end. Feel the energy of what it would be like to have your business thriving again, to have your home secure, to have harmony in your family. He practiced this diligently, entering into the state of consciousness where his desires were already fulfilled, feeling the naturalness of it, the reality of it in his imagination. And within 6 months, not only had he started a new business that was more successful than his previous one, but he had also managed to save his home and restore harmony to his family life. Was this a miracle? No, it was the natural working of law. For as the great poet William Blake said, what seems to be is to those to whom it seems to be. Your reality is entirely subjective, and it conforms perfectly to your concept of yourself and the assumptions that you hold as true. Now, what does it mean to shift your energy? It is not enough to merely visualize what you want, though that is certainly part of it. To truly shift your energy means to so completely identify with the style desire that you feel yourself to be living from it now. You see, most people try to manifest from a state of wanting, of needing, of not having. But that energy of lack only perpetuates more lack. Imagine a radio. There are countless stations broadcasting simultaneously, but you can only hear the one to which you are tuned. Your consciousness is like that radio. There are infinite states of consciousness, infinite versions of reality all existing simultaneously. The one you experience is the one with which you are in vibrational harmony. The one that matches your energy, your state of consciousness. So how do you shift your energy to manifest your desired future? First, you must clearly define what you want. Be specific. The universe cannot deliver vague requests. If you want financial abundance, how much exactly? If you want a harmonious relationship, what qualities must it embody? If you want vibrant health, how does it feel to have it? Once you have clearly defined your desire, you must then do what seems to be the most challenging part, but which is in fact the simplest. You must assume the state of consciousness of already having it. You must feel the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Let me ask you this. If you already had what you desire, how would you feel? What thoughts would you think? How would you carry yourself? What would your internal dialogue be like? When you can answer these questions and begin to embody those feelings, thoughts, and behaviors, you are shifting your energy to match the frequency of your desire. Now let me tell you about the law of assumption, which is the foundation of all manifestation. Whatever you assume to be true, your subconscious mind must accept, and it will work day and night to bring into your experience evidence of that assumption. This is not positive thinking. This is the recognition of how reality operates at its fundamental level. If you assume that you are loved, your subconscious mind will orchestrate events to bring you evidence of being loved. If you assume that you are wealthy, your subconscious mind will guide you toward opportunities for wealth. If you assume that you are healthy, your body will respond accordingly. But you must persist in this assumption until it becomes your dominant feeling, your natural state of being. Remember the words of Scripture, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Your transformation begins with the renewing of your mind, with changing your concept of yourself and the assumptions that you live by. Many of you have heard of the law of attraction, but few understand its true mechanism. The law of attraction is not about attracting things to you, it is about attracting you to things. You are drawn to the reality that matches your state of consciousness. When you shift your energy, when you change your state of consciousness, you are literally shifting to a different version of reality where your desires already exist. And this is where many fall short in their manifestation practices. They try to manifest while still identifying with the state of not having what they desire. It is like trying to broadcast on one frequency while tuning into another. It creates static, confusion, and ultimately disappointment. So how do you maintain this new state of consciousness, this shifted energy? Through mental diet. Just as you are careful about what you put into your physical body, be even more vigilant about what you feed your mind. Every thought, every internal conversation, every assumption is either aligning you with your desire or moving you away from it. Begin to observe your thoughts, your internal conversations. Are they of lack of fear, of doubt? Then change them. Replace them with thoughts and conversations that align with your desire fulfilled. This is not denial of your current reality. It is the recognition that your current reality is simply the harvest of seeds planted in the past. And you are now planting new seeds for a new harvest. Now, I want to address a common concern. Many of you may be thinking, but what about action? Don't I need to do something to manifest my desires? Yes, action is important, but it is inspired action that comes from your shifted state of consciousness, not action born of desperation or fear. When you have truly shifted your energy to align with your desire fulfilled, you will be naturally guided to take the right actions at the right time. It will not feel like effort or struggle. It will feel natural, inspired, almost as if you are being carried along by a current. Remember, the outer world can only reflect what is within. If your inner world is filled with doubt, fear, and lack, your outer world will reflect those states. But when your inner world is filled with certainty, love, and abundance, your outer world must and will reflect those states instead. I want to share another story with you. A woman once came to me who had been trying to manifest a loving relationship for years without success. She had tried everything, affirmations, vision boards, even dating apps, but nothing seemed to work. When we delved deeper, I discovered that while she consciously wanted a loving relationship, she harbored a deep-seated which she was unlovable. That any man who truly knew her would eventually leave her. No amount of external action could override this subconscious assumption. So I guided her to work on changing this core belief. Rather than trying to find love, I suggested that she become the embodiment of love itself. To feel so filled with love that it overflowed from her to assume the state of being deeply loved and valued, not by any specific person, but as her natural state of being. Within 2 months of this inner work, of this energy shifting, she met a man who adored her exactly as she was. They are now married and have created a life together based on mutual respect, admiration, and deep love. She didn't find him, she became the version of herself who was already with him. This is the essence of manifestation through energy shifting. It is not about manipulating the external world. It is about transforming your internal world, knowing that the external must conform. Now, I want to address another aspect of manifestation that is often misunderstood, and that is the concept of time. In our three-dimensional world, we experience time as linear, as a progression from past to present to future. But in the fourth dimension, in the spiritual realm, all time exists simultaneously. There is only the eternal now. When you truly understand this, you realize that your future already exists. It is not something to be created. It is something to be selected through your state of consciousness. Think of it as a radio dial again. Your future of abundance, health, love, and joy already exists on a particular frequency. You don't need to create it. You only need to tune into it by shifting your energy to match its frequency. This is why patience is so important in manifestation. It is not about waiting for your desire to be created. It is about allowing the bridge of events to be built between your current physical reality and the reality where your desire already exists. This bridge is built automatically once you have shifted your energy, once you have assumed the state of consciousness of your wish fulfilled. But many of you become impatient. You shift your energy for a day or two, and then when you don't see immediate results, you revert to your old state of consciousness, your old energy. It is like planting a seed and then digging it up every day to see if it has grown. You must plant the seed of your desire in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind, and then allow it to grow in its own time and in its own way. Remember the words of Scripture, in due season we shall reap if we faint not. Your harvest will come, but it will come in its own season, not necessarily unattainable. Your job is not to determine when or how your desire will manifest. Your job is simply to maintain the state of consciousness, the energy of already having it. And this brings me to another crucial aspect of manifestation, and that is detachment. Many of you become so attached to your desire, so fixated on it, that you actually push it away. For attachment comes from a place of fear that you might not get what you want. And that fear is a low frequency energy that repels rather than attracts. True detachment comes from absolute knowing. When you know that your desire is already yours in the spiritual realm, when you know that it must manifest in the physical realm, if you maintain the right state of consciousness, then you can relax. Then you can let go of the desperate need to see it now. It is like ordering a package online. Once you've placed the order, you don't sit by your mailbox fretting and worrying about whether it will come. You know it will come because you placed the order. You go about your life, and when the package arrives, you receive it with gratitude. Manifesting your desires works the same way. Once you've placed your order with the universe by assuming the state of consciousness of your wish fulfilled, you must then release it, trust the process, and go about your life from this new state of being. Now, I want to talk about an aspect of energy shifting that is often overlooked, and that is the energy of gratitude. Gratitude is one of the highest vibrational states you can embody. When you are genuinely grateful, you are acknowledging that you already have what you desire, even if it has not yet manifested in the physical realm. Gratitude closes the gap between wanting and having. It is impossible to feel grateful and to feel lack at the same time. They are opposing energies. So if you want to shift your energy rapidly, begin to practice deep, genuine gratitude for your desire as if it is already yours. Each night before you sleep and each morning when you wake, give thanks for your desire fulfilled. Feel the feeling of gratitude wash over you. Allow it to permeate every cell of your being. This practice alone can completely transform your manifestation process. But there is an even deeper level of gratitude that I want to invite you to explore. And that is gratitude for what is, not just for what you desire. When you can find genuine gratitude for your current reality, even for the challenges and the lessons, you elevate your energy to such a degree that manifestation becomes effortless. For at the highest level of consciousness, you recognize that everything is perfect exactly as it is. Every experience, every challenge, every seeming setback is actually moving you toward your highest good. When you can embody this truth, when you can live from this understanding, you become a master manifestor. I want to share with you a powerful technique for shifting your energy. And that is the use of I am statements. I am is one of the most powerful phrases in any language because it defines your state of being. Whatever follows I am shapes your reality. Be very careful with the statements that follow I am in your internal dialogue. If you find yourself thinking or saying, I am sick, I am broke, I am unlucky in love, you are affirming and reinforcing those states of being. Instead, deliberately choose I am statements that align with your desires. I am healthy and vibrant. I am abundantly wealthy. I am deeply loved and in a harmonious relationship. Say these statements not as affirmations that you hope will become true, but as acknowledgments of what is already true in the spiritual realm, in the reality that you are now aligning with. Feel the truth of these statements as you say them. If resistance arises, if your mind argues with these statements, simply observe that resistance without judgment and gently return to the feeling of your statements being true. Over time, with persistence, these new I am statements will become your default state of being, your natural energy signature, and your outer world will reorganize itself to match this new inner state. Now I want to talk about a common obstacle to manifestation, and that is the energy of unworthiness. Many of you, at a subconscious level, do not believe that you deserve what you desire. This belief, this energy of unworthiness, acts as a barrier between you and your manifestations. Remember, the universe is abundant beyond measure. There is no limit to what you can have, be, or do, except the limits that you place upon yourself through your beliefs and assumptions. You are worthy of everything you desire simply because you exist, simply because you are an individualized expression of God, of the creative power of the universe. If you find yourself struggling with feelings of unworthiness, begin to work on healing this aspect of your consciousness. Recognize that these feelings are not the truth of who you are. They are simply beliefs that you have acquired throughout your life, beliefs that you can change. One powerful way to dissolve the energy of unworthiness is through self-love practices. Begin to treat yourself with the same kindness, compassion, and respect that you would offer to someone you deeply love. Speak to yourself with words of encouragement and affirmation. Care for your body, mind, and spirit as if they are sacred. As you cultivate self-love, as you shift from the energy of unworthiness to the energy of deservingness, you remove one of the most significant barriers to manifestation. And this brings me to another crucial aspect of energy shifting, and that is forgiveness. Unforgiveness, whether directed toward others or toward yourself, is a low-frequency energy that blocks the flow of your good. It keeps you chained to the past and prevents you from fully entering into the energy of your desired future. Forgiveness does not mean condoning harmful actions or staying in harmful situations. It means releasing the emotional charge, the energetic cord that binds you to people and events from your past. It means recognizing that by holding on to resentment, you are only hurting yourself. True forgiveness comes from understanding that everyone, including yourself, is doing the best they can with the consciousness they have in any given moment. As consciousness evolves, behavior improves. So forgive yourself for past mistakes, understanding that they were the result of your level of consciousness at that time, and forgive others for the same reason. This forgiveness practice will liberate tremendous amounts of energy that can then be redirected toward manifesting your desires. Now I want to discuss the role of belief in the manifestation process. Your beliefs are the foundation upon which your reality is built. A belief is simply a thought that you have thought so often that it has become automatic, unconscious. Many of your beliefs were formed in childhood, absorbed from your family culture and early experiences. Some of these beliefs serve you, but many do not. The good news is that beliefs can be changed. They are not fixed or permanent unless you consider them to be. To shift your energy for powerful manifestation, you must identify and transform the beliefs that are not in alignment with your desires. For instance, if you desire financial abundance but hold a belief that money is the root of all evil or rich people are greedy, you are creating internal conflict that will block your manifestation. Begin to examine your beliefs about the areas of life where you desire change. Write them down. Look at them objectively. Ask yourself, is this belief serving me? Is it helping me manifest my desires? Is it even true? If the answer is no, then decide to release that belief and replace it with one that is in alignment with your desires. Remember, a belief is nothing more than a thought that you have thought repeatedly. By deliberately choosing new thoughts and thinking them repeatedly with emotion and conviction, you can install new beliefs that support rather than sabotage your manifestations. And this brings me to another powerful technique for energy shifting, and that is the use of your imagination. Your imagination is not merely a faculty for daydreaming. It is the creative faculty through which you shape your reality. Every night before you sleep, enter into a state of deep relaxation and use your imagination to create a scene that implies your desire is already fulfilled. Make this scene as vivid and as real as possible. Engage all of your senses. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you feel, smell, taste? Immerse yourself in this scene until it feels absolutely real to you. Until you feel the joy, the gratitude, the satisfaction of your desire being fulfilled. Then carry this feeling with you into sleep. Your subconscious mind is most receptive as you fall asleep and as you awaken. By impressing your desire upon your subconscious in these receptive states, you are programming it to manifest in your physical reality. Do this consistently night after night, and you will be amazed at how your outer world begins to rearrange itself to match the inner world that you have created in your imagination. Now I want to talk about an aspect of manifestation that is often misunderstood, and that is the role of action. Many teachings on manifestation either overemphasize action, making it seem as if manifestation is all about hustle and effort, or they underemphasize it, making it seem as if you can simply visualize your desires and they will magically appear without any movement on your part. The truth lies in the balance. Manifestation requires both inner and outer work. The inner work is shifting your energy, changing your state of consciousness to align with your desire fulfilled. The outer work is taking inspired action from this new state of consciousness. The key word here is inspire. When you have successfully shifted your energy, when you are living from the state of your desire fulfilled, you will be naturally guided to take certain actions. These actions will not feel like struggle or effort. They will feel natural, exciting, almost as if you are being pulled toward them. This is the universe working through you to bring your desire into physical form. Your job is to remain in the energy of your desire fulfilled and to follow the intuitive nudges, the inspired ideas that come to you from this state. Sometimes the inspired action may be to do nothing, to be patient, to trust. Other times it may be to take a bold step you would never have considered from your old state of consciousness. Trust the guidance that comes from your shifted energy and act on it promptly. I want to address another common obstacle to manifestation, and that is the energy of doubt. Doubt is natural. It arises whenever we attempt to create something that we have not created before. Whenever we attempt to become something that we have not been before. But doubt need not derail your manifestations. When doubt arises simply without judgment, do not fight it or try to suppress it, as this only gives it more power. Instead, acknowledge it and then gently return to the feeling of your desire fulfilled. Remember, doubt is simply a thought, and a thought can be changed. Replace the thought of doubt with a thought of certainty, with the knowing that what you desire is already yours in the spiritual realm and must manifest in the physical realm if you maintain the right state of consciousness. One powerful way to overcome doubt is through evidence collecting. Begin to notice the small signs, the synchronicities, the coincidences that suggest your desire is on its way to you. These signs are everywhere once you begin to look for them. Acknowledging and appreciating these signs builds your faith and dissolves doubt. And this brings me to another crucial aspect of energy shifting, and that is the importance of consistency. Manifestation is not a one-time event. It is a way of life. You must consistently maintain the energy, the state of consciousness of your desire fulfilled in order for it in your physical reality. This does not mean that you will never have moments of doubt or fear or reverting to old patterns of thought. You are human, and fluctuations in energy are natural. But it does mean that you must consistently return to the energy of your desire fulfilled, especially after you have temporarily slipped from it. I think of it like learning to play a musical instrument. At first, it requires conscious effort and practice. You make mistakes, you get frustrated, but you keep returning to the practice. Eventually, it becomes second nature. You can play without conscious thought. It becomes a part of who you are. Manifestation works the same way. At first, maintaining the energy of your desire fulfilled requires conscious effort and practice. But as you persist, it becomes your natural state of being, your default energy signature. And this brings me to one of the most powerful secrets of manifestation, which is the understanding that you are not just manifesting things or experiences, you are manifesting a state of being. The things and experiences are simply the outer symbols, the physical reflections of this state of being. For instance, if you desire financial abundance, what you are really seeking is the state of being that you believe financial abundance will give you. Perhaps it's security, freedom, peace of mind, the ability to contribute to causes you care about. When you identify the state of being that underlies your desire and begin to cultivate that state now, regardless of your current circumstances, you accelerate your manifestation tremendously. For you are no longer trying to get something to feel a certain way. You are feeling that way now and allowing the outer symbols to naturally follow. This is why it is so important to clarify your desires, to understand what you truly want beneath the surface level desire. What state of being are you seeking? Once you've identified it, begin to embody it now. Feel it as your reality now. Live from it now. And watch as your outer world transforms to match this inner state. Now, I want to talk about an aspect of energy shifting that is often overlooked. And that is the energy of surrender. Many of you approach manifestation with a tight grip, with an energy of control and force. You try to micromanage the universe, dictating exactly how and when your desire should manifest. But true manifestation requires a balance of intention and surrender. You set your intention clearly. You shift your energy to align with your desire fulfilled. And then you surrender the outcome to the universe, to the wisdom of yourself, trusting that what manifests will be for your highest good, even if it doesn't look exactly as you had imagined. This surrender is not giving up. It is not resignation. It is a profound trust in the perfect unfolding of your life, in the benevolence of the universe. It is the recognition that your higher self, your divine self, may have an even grander vision for your life than your human self can conceive. When you can hold both clear intention and complete surrender simultaneously, you enter into a state of flow, a state of grace, where manifestation becomes effortless and joyful. And now I want to leave you with a final thought, a final truth about the nature of reality and the process of manifestation. Everything that you perceive in your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. Everything. There are no exceptions to this rule. This means that if you want to change anything in your outer world, your finances, your relationships, your health, your career, you must first change the corresponding aspect of your inner world. You must shift your energy, your state of consciousness in relation to that area of life. This is both a tremendous responsibility and a tremendous freedom. It means that you are not at the mercy of external circumstances, of other people's actions, of the economy, of luck or fate. You are the creator of your reality, all of it, through the states of consciousness that you embody. So, choose wisely the states of consciousness, the energies that you embody. Choose states of love rather than fear, of abundance rather than lack, of health rather than illness, of harmony rather than conflict. Choose to live from the end, from the fulfilled desire, rather than from the wanting of it. Do this consistently with faith and patience, and your life will transform in ways that may seem miraculous to others, but that you will understand as the natural working of law, the perfect reflection of your shifted energy, your changed consciousness. Remember, I am is the self-definition of the infinite. Whatever follows I am in your consciousness defines your world. Choose your I am statements with care and with full awareness of their creative power. You are not merely a human being having a spiritual experience. You are a spiritual being having a human experience. You are an individualized expression of the divine, with all the creative power that implies. Use this power consciously. Use it wisely. Use it lovingly. And your life will become a living testament to the truth that as within, so without. Shift your energy and you shift your world. It is the law. It is the promise. And it is the way.